This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
All right, what's up, everybody? I hope that you have had a blessed weekend and a blessed week as we get ready for a brand new week. Welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly OMFL podcast show. I am so glad that you're here. Mo, it's good to see you, buddy. I hope that you've had a good week. I got to play catch up. Life has been way out of control. I got to play catch up on the podcast. I need to go retweet some stuff. I've just been super busy, but I think this week things will begin to slow down and I'll get a little time off and get caught up. I got caught up this past weekend with some work. So Mo, I owe you some retweets and some posts. If you are here from the OMFL or the GrownFolks online community, do me a favor, go to League Crawler Twitter, go into their Discord, hit a like, hit a retweet, go watch their podcast. Make sure that you go represent and help our guys out over at League Crawler. Those are our buddies. We appreciate them and we want to support their podcast. We're here to talk about everything OMFL playoffs for season 95. I also got a little calling out to do to my OMFL brethren as we look back at this season. What are we in week number 15? So we've got 3 weeks left here, and this will be like an early prediction show about who we think is in and who we think is not going to make it and what that might look like as we progress through the playoffs. Shout out to my guy Bill for doing hey, what's up, Win? There's a name I haven't seen in forever. I did see you pop up in the League Crawler Discord. It's good to see you, Win. Win, for those of you who don't know, was a longtime OMFL board member and owner. He's also my family, and I remember sitting in his room way back in the day when Madden didn't have any salary caps or any types of systems, and he and I stayed up all night creating these crazy spreadsheets and cap numbers and all kinds of craziness that we used to get to create when Madden didn't have a really great franchise. So it's good to see you win. Yeah, shout out to the Golden Girls shirt. I also have a Golden Girls cup. And you can't see her on here, but she's on here too. Whatever her name is, I forget her name is. It's too late that night. So good to see you guys. Let's get over here and let's talk about some OMFL season 95 action. Go ahead and mute the music here. It's good to see everybody, though. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music on for me, though. Just because you don't want to listen to the music doesn't mean I don't want to listen to the music. So we're going to talk about everything in the playoffs for season 95. But even with my friends here who are not part of the OMFL, I got to do some calling out to my guys before we jump in here and talk about the playoffs. Is this the deadest season ever? I mean, my God, I know that some of us are really upset that there wasn't going to be a season 6 this year, but I don't even know how we're going to make it through season 5 next season. This is like the deadest season ever. There's like no chat going on in the Discord. I know that things are starting to warm up. Some people are getting the vaccine. Some people just don't care and they're going to go outside, and like sports are starting to kick back up. And so I get it, but my goodness, this is such a dead season. Thank you, Win. Sophia, that's it. She is by far my wife and I's favorite character. But I can't believe how dead this season is. I mean, it also hit me today that I did not purchase Mo his trophy. So Mo, this week, send me a message. Say, Nate, don't forget to order my trophy. It's harder to order them now. I used to have one website that I would get all my trophies from, but our type of trophy they stopped carrying. I don't know why. I'm going to go check and see if it's ready. So it's harder to order, which is why I actually forgot to order your trophy, Mo. So make sure you remind me. I'll get your trophy ordered. But I just can't believe how just unplugged it seems to be this season. And I think that kind of sets up really dangerous for like some of our top teams, the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the Giants, right? Like some of those top tier teams to really go on a run here. And this is if the season ended tonight. It's week number 15. We're just like started into week 15, I think last night or early this morning. If the season ended tonight, this is exactly what the playoffs would look like right now. And it would be the hell of some good matchups in here. But I really think that this playoff, more than any, because I think everybody's so unplugged and there's so much going on in people's world, it seems that this could be the season where the top tier dogs go hunting. And this is going to be going to one of those top 3 or 4 teams because I just don't know if some of these other teams are going to be plugged in enough to make it count. So let's go ahead and dig into it. If it ended today, I'm going to pull up Bills still in the hunt. So I'm going to tell you who's still in the hunt, which this doesn't show right now in the AFC, still alive. You have the Colts at 6-7, the Jets at 6-7, the Bengals at 5-8, the Ravens at 5-8, the Jaguars at 4-9, and the Steelers at 4-9. So we know that probably the Jaguars and the Steelers are out of it. Even for the Bengals and the Ravens, it's going to be very, very difficult because that last wild card spot, who's currently going to the Texans, yeah, that's right. To the Texans is 7-6, and so the only guys, in my opinion, that have a chance are the Colts and the Jets. They're still kind of in the running and have an opportunity to make a little bit of a run here. So let's just go look at it. If it ended just like this today, do I think any of these other teams, the Colts or the Jets, are going to get in there? I do not. I think what you see here on the AFC side is what you're going to get. I think we're finally going to see the Broncos sneak in there. It's been a while since we've had the Broncos make the playoffs, but I think they're finally going to get a little bit of a run and get in there. Titans have been a staple for this Madden. Bloop and his Patriots. It's good to see Colin back in the hunt. Browns have been pretty much a staple. And then the Texans, they've really turned the corner with their rookie quarterback. They're able to win enough games. I think they're going to get that last wild card spot. And then we know what the Chiefs are. They've been in every OMFL bowl except for the first one this entire Madden. So you're going to see a bunch of really good teams. And if these were the matchups, I think you're going to get some good games. I don't know that the Texans have the quarterback, though, to push the Browns. I don't think it pulls up I wish it pulled up a matchup that you could see some averages. But look, the Browns are going to have a great defense. They're going to put up a lot of points. The Texans can put up a lot of points. They're going to turn the ball over, especially with that quarterback. I think you would see the Browns come out in a victory in this one. Broncos and Titans. The Broncos is their first dip in the pool since they made the OMFL Bowl. What was that, 5 seasons ago? They completely hit the reset button. They shipped off everybody, including their quarterback Woodward. The Titans, though, they've repackaged, retooled. They went out and were big spenders in the trade market. They really added a lot of firepower to that team, and I think they're going to be the better team. I think the Broncos are going to get into the playoffs, of course, but they're going to run into a buzzsaw, and you're going to see the Titans just run it down their throat. Henry is having a spectacular season. You're going to see that top team go ahead and move on to the next round. Again, I think this entire playoff, the theme you're going to pick up on is I think the top teams are going to be the teams that actually win and continue to move on. You got the Bloop and his Patriots against Colin and his Chargers. Colin's putting up a lot of offensive points. His quarterback is having an all-star year, an all-pro year. We know what kind of firepower they have. You never know which Bloop team is going to show up. I mean, sometimes Bloop and his Patriots show up and they play great defense. Their quarterback is on fire, but the quarterback has been like the key pivot point for him, ever since he's been here for a couple Maddens now. I think there would be an upset. This will be a really good game. I just don't see Bloop actually having the care. He's like one of those teams that are a little bit unplugged. He's not unplugged. You get what I'm saying. Just like it's not like if Bloop doesn't win, he doesn't really care. So I think the Chargers are going to take this one. A lot of firepower coming from Herbert, and you're going to see them move on. That's going to set up a 1 versus 5. So Patriots, Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a runaway with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just have way too much, as they have for the entire AFC for quite some time. The only guy to give him a run for his money was Nipples and the Ravens, and he has had to be unplugged because of life for quite some time. So instead of seeing him get there, I just don't see another team in the AFC giving Penguins and the Kansas City Chiefs a real run for their money. So you're going to see the Chargers and Chiefs. Chiefs are going to move on there, and then you're going to have the Browns and Titans. That will be a really good game, but give me the Titans in that one. I think that running game is just too consistent, and I think you're going to get some inconsistent play from Green, the quarterback for the Browns, LSU prospect. He's been in the league for 2 Maddens now. He's an import player, comes over from the Jets a couple of seasons ago, has been a little bit better of a quarterback for the Browns, but still that inconsistency, that up and down. And so, Bloop, I don't think that you suck. I just don't know that you care. That's what I'm looking at. And then that's going to set up a Titans and Chiefs game. I personally want to watch that one. If that happens, I would love to be able to call that game. I think there's a little animosity there, some professional animosity there. I think we had a rough game a couple Maddens ago, and that would be really offensive firepower, passing the ball around, just whipping it all around the field. 2 great running backs on each side of the field versus like that real consistent clock-eating team in the Titans with Henry. I would say if the Titans could not turn the ball over, if they could control the clock, eat up a lot of yards with Henry, which is going to be hard against that Penguins and Kansas City Chiefs defense, you could see an upset here. I'm personally picking the Kansas City Chiefs. He's moving off to the AFC Championship. Let's jump on the other side. We got right now, it would be D-Money and his Cardinals, number 1. I see Mo talking about his Cardinals with a first-round bye. Look, D-Money has won most of the championships here. He hasn't been as strong this Madden. He keeps having like some fumble-ups in the playoffs, but I think this could be the year that he finally kicks that. Number 2 is the Giants, our returning reigning champion in Mo and his Giants. Number 3 is going to be the Lions. Trey is going to be tough on everyone. I want to see him do something, though, as we get into the playoffs. Number 4 is going to be Maniac and his Panthers. 5, Pepper and his Seahawks. 6, D-Money and his Cowboys finally sneaking in to that number 6 spot. And currently, the number 7 spot's going to the Minnesota Vikings and Denver. Still in the hunt are going to be my Saints at 7-6, Washington football team 6-1, Falcons at 6-7, Buccaneers at 5-8. I do think the Buccaneers do not have a chance here. Vikings are at 8-5. I think you're going to have to be like a 9 or 10 win team, probably a 10-win team to make these playoffs. And I think you'll even have a couple of 10-win teams not make the playoffs. That's how strong the NFC has been. NFC has always been the strongest division or conference, I should say, this entire cycle with a lot of the firepower coming out of there. This would set up some pivotal matchups. I think tonight's going to be the make or break night for my team. I've been hammered here in the second half of the season. I'm playing Maniac and his Panthers right after Press Pass Live is over. This isn't going to be a super long Press Pass Live because there's just not a whole lot to talk about with the playoffs here. So stay tuned. Watch that game. That'll be the pivotal matchup. That's going to be the deciding factor if I can make a run or not. I don't think that I make a run. I got hammered twice by the Falcons. I can't. This is why I hate the sim mode. That's a whole nother rant, but that just inconsistency of what to expect from your team can kind of, drive you nuts just a little bit. So I think these will be the matchups that you see. You might see Dallas fall out. You might see Denbrew move up into that slot, and the Falcons have an opportunity to maybe sneak in there if he goes on a little bit of a run here. That's going to be up in the air. I'm going to call it this is what you're going to see. That's going to set up Denbrew and his Vikings versus Mo and his Giants. This is too much firepower for Denbrew. He studies. He's going to be right there knowing what Mo's going to do, but nobody has stopped Mo's running game, and now he's got a running game. It's opened up the passing game. He still by far has one of the best defenses, hands down, that we've ever seen in the OMFL. I think maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers that Penguins built a couple Maddens ago would be the only one that even come close. Mo and his Giants are going to be spectacular. I'm looking for that one to be a blowout and the Giants move on. I'm going to skip the middle one. I'm going to come back to that one. That's going to set up the Panthers and the Seahawks. I do think the Panthers are going to win that game. Peppers had a tremendous season. This will be a fun game. But right now, Maniac has some things figured out with his team. His defense is flying all around the place. They're making plays. If his quarterback plays upper echelon type of gameplay, not a lot of turnovers, being very efficient, Maniac wins, and that's what he's done this entire season. He's been very efficient. He's been hitting his checkdowns when he's got to hit his checkdowns. He has stumbled. I don't know if you're watching Maniac. You stumbled on the 80-20 rule a lot, so we got to kind of fix that portion of it. But I do see the Panthers being a slightly better team here and coming out with the victory. Then it's going to set up Trey and D. Wayne and his Cowboys. Now, D. Wayne has struggled. He's struggled with quarterback play. He struggled with trying to find his offensive groove. Trey's got a lot figured out. I think the most underrated defense that anyone is ever going to face. This team has playmakers on the back end. He picks the ball off a lot. His guys fly around making plays, and that could get ugly. I'm actually going to take the Lions in this game. A normal year, I'd probably take D. Wayne all the time, hands down. But this one, I think the Lions have the better football team. He's going to force D. Wayne into some turnovers, and you're just going to see Trey put up a whole lot of points. And this one might get ugly, could get ugly in that one. So that's going to set up a 4 versus 3. No, I'm sorry, a 4 versus 1 and a 2 versus 3. So the Panthers are going to go see the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals last year stumbled up against the Buccaneers, who got really hot into the playoffs. He went on a run. He beats the Cardinals in a tremendous game. Just one of the instant classics that will just kind of sit here forever in our instant classic thread. I don't think you're going to see that happen here. I don't think that Maniac and the Panthers are what, the run that the Bucs got on. Now, he could prove me wrong because Maniac definitely has the team, but Maniac gets in his own head. And I think what benefited Big Hurt last year with the Buccaneers is there's almost that, I have nothing to lose here, and I'm just going to wing it out. And he had some guys make some tremendous, tremendous plays for him. And because of that, I don't know that you're going to see that happen here with Maniac. I don't think that you're going to get as many plays as you did when you had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come in. So give me the Cardinals to win that one and go to the NFC Championship game and set themselves up for a pivotal matchup against the Giants, because it's going to be the Giants versus the Detroit Lions until somebody, shows me otherwise. I think the Giants are the better team. I think he's really limited, like his other leagues that he plays in. I think this is the only thing he does because we're preparing for a life change soon, and I think that makes him super focused. I think that's really going to bring out the very best in that team, and you're going to see that team really thrive. And so I think that Trey's going to give him a run for his money. It's going to be a good, close game. Could get ugly late if there's some turnovers, or it could go the other way if there's some turnovers that were unexpected. And Mo will turn the ball over. He showed it in the OMFL Bowl, number 52. No. See, I'm already forgetting what season we're in. I don't know. Whatever season we're in. The last year's OMFL Bowl, he stumbled up on that one. And if you turn the ball over against against the Lions, which he'll force you into some turnovers, it could go wrong for you. I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants in this one, though, and it's going to set up Mo versus D-Money, Giants versus Cardinals. This is the game that everyone wants to watch again. It could set up a really great game, no matter who goes. If it's D-Money or Mo against Penguins. Penguins has been there the last, we're in season 4, so the last 2 OMFL Bowls. He's been there back-to-back. He's going to be right there pushing for it again. I don't even flip a coin. Like, just pick, flip a coin, pick a head, and pick whatever team you think is going to win, because I think this could go either way. I think the Giants are going to fumble in this one. I think that running game is going to be tremendous, but D-Money's going to slow the game down. He's going to be super efficient with his pass game. He's going to find just enough running game to keep the ball going. He's going to put up a lot of points. He scores a touchdown almost every time he touches the ball. I don't know that the Giants are going to be able to not turn the ball over. If you turn the ball over, just like the Lions against the Cardinals, you're going to be down 7-0, 14-7, 28-12, right? It's going to get away from you really, really quick. And I think that's going to set up a Cardinals and Chiefs matchup, one that we had 2 seasons ago. I think it was 2 seasons ago. Yeah, 2 seasons ago. I think I'm missing a season some way, somehow in here. Scoot my camera up just a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm missing a season some way, somehow here. This will be strength versus strength. And I think where D-Money kind of rises above everybody else. And I will say, this is the first season I've hesitated, because he hasn't been there in 2 seasons. He hasn't had that stronghold on the league that he had last Madden. Penguins has been right there on the cusp every single year. Some would say it took a rule break to beat him last OMFL Bowl. He's been dominant. He's kept that team together for the most part. And he puts a lot of pressure on you. He's got his defensive end, Ikaban, whatever his name is, coming off the edge again this season. That's elevated that defense. Again, we know what Patrick Mahomes is here, 75, 76% completion percentage quarterback, 2 or 3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's going to be pretty tough to face when you face the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win another OMFL Bowl here in Penguins, mainly because I think the quarterbacks are going to be the difference here. Trey Jackson has been built up by D-Money. He plays tremendous with him. Don't have that really super, super strong run game that we've seen before in the past, unless I'm just behind on the stats. I don't think that we have that super strong run game that we've seen in the past from the Cardinals. I think with Barkley, with Mahomes, with those 2 receivers, a lot of offensive firepower. The name of the game here is going to be turnovers. That's the stupidest duh statement you've ever heard. It's the statement that you hear every sportscaster make. To win this game, they have to score points. No crap. Thank you for that. But it's true. In this one, whoever can not turn the ball over, and Penguins does a really good job of not turning the ball over. As long as he doesn't force himself into some un-Penguin-like turnovers, then I think you will see the Kansas City Chiefs win this one, and it should be a really, really good game. It'll be a fun one. I can't wait to see if this is the way it plays out, and if these are the teams that are in there, and if these are the matchups that we get, because it'll make for a really great OMFL Bowl number 55. I think that's what we're in. I think we're in season 55. I probably should know that off the top of my head. Let me look and see if I have it here. Yeah, I do have it right. Whew. I was going to say, that's something I probably should know. All right, owner submitted questions. Guess what? This is why I started off the way that I started off, because it is dead. There's not been owner submitted questions in 3 weeks. We're still looking at the last one was 3 weeks ago from our guy Lost Sniper with the Eagles. Where are you guys at? What's going on? Like, are people just that busy that they are just not interested at all? 3 weeks ago was our last Press Pass Live question. The chat's been dead. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago we were averaging like 17 to 25 people per stream. And the last 3 weeks it's been like 3 to 6. Tonight, right now, we currently have 4 people watching, and I love you 4 people, and I appreciate you 4 people for tuning in. But it just makes me wonder, where's the rest of our OMFL buddies? And maybe it's the NCAA tournament. Baseball's around the corner. I know like kids baseball has started, high school and middle school, and like all those sports have started. It is warming up and people are kind of getting out more, but it's also 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, so I don't know how much that getting out actually matters. That's it. I don't have anything else to talk about. And chat seems to be dead. It's good to see Win. It's good to see my friend Mo. Good to see both of you. Win, send my love to Nanny. I haven't talked to her in some time, and I feel like I need to give her a call. So it's been crazy, man. It's been a struggle keeping up with work and the church that I pastor and the league. And so I've been really busy, but things are starting to kind of get to a more manageable position for me. And so I want to finish strong for our last season, which is going to be next season. And I think it'll be time for a break. That'll finish somewhere in June, middle of June, maybe early June, maybe late June, like somewhere in June. I just like saying the word June, evidently. That'll give people a good, 4 to 6 weeks off. Maybe people can go and get that PlayStation 5 so we do not have to stay on the PlayStation 4 version of this game. What's up, Trey? I just talked about your team, man. I put you in the conference championship, but I do think that Mo's going to take you out. So you got to prove me wrong. I did say, though, Trey, I did say that your team can cause a lot of turnovers. And if you cause a lot of turnovers, which Mo will give you, then things could get really good for you, and you could get that upset. Let's look at a couple stats before we get out of here, and then I'll get ready for Maniac, who I hope is going to be ready for me because it is late and I'm ready to go to bed. So stay tuned. If you got nothing else to do, this is going to come down. Give me 3 minutes. What's up, Pepper? Good to see you, buddy. And then we're going to put it right back up for my Week 15 game against Maniac. New overlays and stuff, but we'll go right back up. Pepper, talk good about your team. I think that's going to be a great game if the way our playoffs start the way that we show them. You and Maniac would make for a really good game. Look, Justin Herbert, we talked about him. What Colin is doing with him has been spectacular. I mean, one would argue really only being outdone by Patrick Mahomes, but he's got more yards. He's got way less touchdowns, 9 less touchdowns, but he's got a better completion percentage. Interceptions are the same, so it should be really, really good. Maniac, I'm about to wrap this show up, Bubba, and then me and you can rock and roll. So some really, really good games right there by those guys. What do we have here? Oh, yeah. Ibrahim? Is that how you say it? Ibrahim, Mr. Grant is... I don't know what that means, Trey, at all. And I don't like weird subliminal messages like that. We all screwed Nate unless something I need to talk with you about is dealt with. That's confusing. I don't know what that means. McCaffrey having a great season. Ben Morris, even though his Jaguars have struggled, is having a really good season as well. Odell Beckham right up there, 87 catches, only 10 touchdowns, but almost 2,000 yards. Hyde, he'll be a Hall of Famer here as long as Bloop submits him. Vincent having a great season. McLaurin doing what he does. DJ Moore. When DJ Moore and that quarterback both get their X factors, makes me feel like I need to ban something, man. Devin White having a great season. And here's these guys, right? Quentin Derby. This is a stud player for the Detroit Lions. And one of the reasons his defense is so good. And then when you look at interceptions, and just because I said that, I don't see him up here. Where's your guy at, Trey? Oh, I guess he's not having as great a season as he has in the past. Just because I wanted to brag about him. No, where's he at? Did I miss him? Oh, Trey. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I seen that message that you sent me, but I have not had time to begin to process what that means. But yeah, I think these last couple of updates have really swayed the way the game plays, and I think next season we're gonna have to do some dramatic slider changes. And I think, yeah, the stackable, which is I think is what Trey is talking about, is that guys have found a loophole to move guys out of position by taking several seasons to get them there. So they'll like move them to one position that's allowed, then the next season move them to another position that second position allows them to move, and probably saves money. Whatever it may be. So a good season by Grant Delpit. Marcus Peters, look at the Browns right there with Delpit and Beckham both averaging a lot of interceptions there. Chase Young, he's a stud. Daniel Hunter, Ichabod, Mack having a good season. Again, the Titans have went all in. Both the Watt brothers having good seasons. So a lot of really good seasons going on. Let's look at a couple of words, and then we're really going to put a bow on the show. Unless anybody in chat has something you want to talk about. If you do, go ahead and send it in the chat. Grant is number one in your MVP voting. Now, of course, we kind of we nerf all of these, and so we actually don't use any of these. Again, train is cryptic messages. Just send me another message. I'll look at it. I promise. Tomorrow's a busy day, but after that, I should be fine. Dalvin Cook, number 2. Mahomes, number 3. Ben Morris, number 4. That's never going to work. Coach of the year is D Money. Looking at the AFC, Mahomes, Player of the Year. Beckham, Defensive Player of the Year. Robert Guy, your Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's a receiver. He's playing outstanding. Steve Polk, Defensive Player of the Year. Mahomes, Best Quarterback. Morris, Best Running Back. Beckham, Best Receiver. Willis, the Best Offensive Line. Ichabod, the Best Defensive Line. Beckham, the Best Linebacker. Peters, the Best DB. And Boswell, the Best Kicker. Looking at the NFC, Grant, the offensive player. Young, the defensive player. Grant, the rookie of the year. Frost, the defensive rookie of the year. Worthington, the best quarterback. Grant, the best running back. McLaurin, the best receiver. Martin, the best offensive line. Young, the best defensive line. Derby, the best linebacker. Chin, the best DB. He's had a great season. Gonzalez, the best kicker. So there's a couple of your possible award voting. Even though we do nerf those, we actually turn them all the way off, and then we do internal voting, and we kind of pick from there about who's going to win what, and that's how we give out XP. Well, he gets no love because he gets spammed. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you spam him. I don't think you spam him. We do have some spammers for the tight ends around here, but we've got new rules in here. So, yeah, look, I think there'll be a lot of stuff that we look at this offseason. I really do hope, though, that we can go to the next-gen Madden game. I know that's going to be a touchy point as we get closer in the summer, especially with the different shortages because of COVID, because of the winter storm that happened a couple months ago now. But it plays so much different, man. It plays so much better. The PlayStation 5 game, just player movement's better. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the means, but it takes out a lot of like agitating stuff that I think has come back into here. So, all right, guys, thank you for tuning in to Press Pass Live. Looks like now everybody's showing up. We got 7 people now. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, there you go, Blue. I did not know that it did that. I still don't know if I want to take a chance though. But anyway, we'll play next season as our last season. Then we'll do season 6 draft for imports. And then we're going to put up just some fun leagues. So if people still want to keep playing for fun, we can keep doing that. And those who just need a break and need to step back. But the more I play with the PlayStation 5 version of Madden, the more I think I'm sorry, I'm trying to read chat and talk, but the more I think it is a better game. It gives me hope for what the game could feel like for Madden 22. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Keep hanging out. This will come down, and it'll go right back up within like 5 minutes as I get ready to play Maniac. But I appreciate you hanging out with me. There's the playoffs. So look at the playoffs for season 95. Tune in next Sunday as we look at where we are in the playoffs and what's going on and kind of how things are going. And we'll give some updates about where we are as a league, but we're wrapping it up. You can already start to feel that things are coming to a close here as the summer is approaching. So I love you guys. I hope that you have a lot of I hope you have a lot of good things happen to you this week. I hope that you have a great week at work. Enjoy your Good Friday. I know I'm looking into it and ready for a really good long weekend that's coming up. And so maybe some crawfish are in my future. I hope you have a great week, guys, and we'll see you in just a little bit.